What's good? It's your boy Ty Money, and today I'm gonna read an article from I think it's Rolling Stone. And when it comes down to this article, I'm gonna talk about Sarah Bond. It talks about Sarah Bond's statement on the role of the future of Xbox. If you don't know who Sarah Bond is, she's a director, a creative director. I think it's hard for me to think of it right now, but she's very connected to Xbox. You know, she's very close to Phil Spencer and so on and so forth. So what I'm gonna read is what she said. Well, let me read the title. Microsoft Sarah Bond on the future of Xbox is not really about anyone's equalization. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. Sarah Bond's on Game Pass in the future of Xbox. Now this is Sarah Bonds right here. You know what I'm saying? The person that's not only helping Game Pass and game creators to develop worlds and help gamers test out those worlds. But she is definitely about helping independent gamers get their games on Game Pass for people to try out. So you gotta understand, she understands how Game Pass is when it comes down to those who never bought a game or who want to try out a game. And what better way to do that than to have Game Pass? You know, you got Netflix, Disney Plus, you got all these movie stream services and music services, Spotify, Apple Music and so on and so forth. So what I'm trying to say is that with these streaming sites that, America's hop up on, you know what I'm saying? Of course, Xbox is an American company, so they hop on a streaming service called Game Pass to where they had day one games and stuff is a way of how Netflix and everybody else do with their streaming service. But when it comes to Sarah Bond, she's really dedicated to helping independent developers put their games on Game Pass for those who never tried it. Now, even though some of the majority of the games or some of the games are not everybody's cup of tea, but we gotta understand Microsoft is trying to reach all forms of gamers who like all sorts of game software or formats. Like if you got a storytelling game, a game that's 2D and a game that's 3D environment, any game that people love to enjoy and play, that's what they're trying to target at. You know what I'm saying? And that's why you think they come into tablets and phones when it comes to a cloud-based gaming. You know what I'm saying? Because of cloud-based gaming, I can put gameplays on my YouTube channel directly from my tablet, do screen record on my tablet. So that's one thing. But let's read this though. If Microsoft have committed to anything with Xbox in recent years, it's the long game. Ever since the PlayStation 4 dominated the Xbox One, the company have withdrawn from reporting console sales, acquired high-profile studios, and shift the brand matrix of success to the numbers for its industry-leading subscription service Game Pass. While this had helped rewrite perceptions in the current console generation, albeit with Sony and Nintendo clearly ahead of in sales, there's a sense the Xbox Series X is still awaiting its big splash, as shown in this year's BAFTA game nomination. Conversations over the past year have been dominated by PlayStation exclusive God of War Ragnarok, which swept with 5 awards from software juggernaut Elder Rings alongside indie darlings like Best Games winner Vampire Survivor. There are nominations for titles from studios owned by Xbox, but most notably the 16th century narrative adventure Pendant, but it hasn't generated the same mass appeal. We've been very clear about our commitment to have our first party portfolio shipping to Game Pass day and date, Bond said. We understand that people really value that, but it's also about diversity of content. It's not really about anyone's acquisition, it's about the depth and breadth of the portfolio all up, from big AAA games to indie titles to hidden gems That's actually what makes Game Pass really vulnerable. The push for the diverse library extends to developers themselves. A new initiative titled the ID Export Developer Association Program looks to supports team led by underrepresented creators across race, sexuality, disabilities, and those from less represented territories, with the funding and resources assembles a prototype build. Honored to be part of the Okay, something. Bond stresses that it isn't designed as an automatic channel to Game Pass, but with the hope that by coming to Xbox, developers can have more economic success and that they can continue to expand regardless of how they're released on on Xbox platforms. Game Pass is an option for developers. One thing that we talk a lot about internally, but I've been striving to share more externally, is the business model associated with a game have an endemic link to the nature of the gameplay. Bond says we invite a lot of time in how we introduce more business model diversity, how we create more options. We talk a lot about Games Pass because subscription is the latest option that we scale. You have pay to play, then there was free to play, and then we introduced Game Pass. We talked about how we're experimenting with other models, like what does it mean for advertising in games, which is more prevalent in mobile. Are there models of that work well in PC and console? Are there only models where you might have time slices of games and stuff like that? Providing creators with options and choice enables them to experiment and do what they like and actually create more immersive and creative experiences without having to fit into a mold. The flexible approach is arguably what embedded the success of Hi-Fi Rush, unexpected Zanzani rhythm-based action games, which was announced and released on the same day. With the added component of Game Pass, anyone spectacle of a colorful ramp from the creators of The Evil Within could simply jump in and try the game themselves. The strategy was pitched by Tango Gameworks to Microsoft, but its success made them consider more surprise drops in the future. It's totally case by case. Bond said it was fun to do. It was cool to see the success. We learned a lot from it, but it's really about doing the right thing for the IP, for the team, for what we are trying to achieve, and also the community. The biggest unknown over Xbox future is the reunification of the ongoing acquisition of Activision Blizzard, the cinematic deal, which cost Microsoft $68.7 billion, has become a landmine for global regulators as they examine the concerns, including those from Sony over whether the deal could harm the industry at large. The key issue is Microsoft having ownership over a Call of Duty, one of the biggest selling franchises. Bond points to the company tracks records of past acquisitions like Minecraft, Agasu concerns around exclusivity. We always been clear since day one that our commitment is to always extend access to games. She reiterated Microsoft has previously asserted it will bring Call of Duty games to Nintendo and PlayStation platforms in a proposed 10-year deal with acquisition still under review by the UK Competition and Market Authority. Stuff like that. While this deal is, if approved, looks set to be a game-changing, Bond believes the most exciting piece of development for Xbox will emerge from advances in AI technology. I really think about what is a big for gaming. I think there's just so much incredible, innovative work going on in gaming right now that we should be excited about. I think our industry, like all industries, has had to get through what COVID did. Now you're starting to see things pick up again. You're seeing innovation. You're seeing things like AI, which I think is going to be really important for what we start doing and for democratizing game development and making it possible for everybody to build a game in a way that was not accessible before. I do think we are set up for a good year, but more importantly, a great decade. So there you have it, man. There you have it. So Sarah Bonds is actually saying that, even though with the Activision Blizzard deal, Sony, want to act, no, not Sony, but when it, saying when it comes to Jim Ryan, whatever that guy name is, whole 9 yards. But the thing is, Sarah Bonds is trying to let you know, like, it's not about acquisition. It's all about bringing games to Game Pass by gaming software that's owned by Microsoft. Bethesda. Now you got Activision Blizzard. You got all these different type of game developers companies, and when it really come down to it, they are the main producers to Game Pass. You know what I'm saying? Like when it comes to games that are not owned by Microsoft, you know what I'm saying, can only keep their games a little short amount of time in Game Pass. But like she said, though, man, Game Pass is the future of what gaming should be about. The reason why PlayStation and Nintendo is not about that because they are foreign countries. You know what I'm saying? Japan, they probably don't got subscription service. They probably do, but I can't speak for Japan, but when it comes to the gaming sector, they're not gonna get into. They're not gonna put they day one. They launch games day one on a plus on a service. I don't know about Nintendo, but PlayStation, they're definitely not. You got to pay for it first before it even comes to a game to their service. Whatever Game Pass they have. If you know what I'm saying. But when it comes to Xbox, though, when it comes to them having a game service and a services like Game Pass, what I'm saying? I got Game Pass Ultimate, but when it comes to Game Pass, it's important that, independent developers, put their games on Game Pass for those who want to discover their games, you know what I'm saying, whole 9 yards. Like, I am going to play some independent developers. The first game I was trying to play was High on Life, but for some reason, I downloaded the game, but it ended up taking me to another different game for some reason. But I'm gonna have to purchase High on Life. But I will stream it for y'all. But when it comes to any independent developer, independent game that's strictly about shooting, though, what I'm saying, I will try the other game. If I try the other games, I'm gonna stream it for y'all. But mainly I'll focus on shooting games. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, but this your boy Time Man. Finna sign off. That's all I want to say. So when it comes to Sarah Bond's vision and future for Xbox, it's a powerful vision and powerful future. You know what I'm saying? Sarah Bonds is really all about, helping independent developers and helping Xbox to succeed. You know what I'm saying? That's one thing. This is the beautiful woman herself right here, in this picture right here. You know what I'm saying? Hold on, y'all. When it comes to artificial intelligence, Microsoft is already jump on board with that. You know what I'm saying? Being an Xbox site or an Xbox only fan, the only use Xbox devices when it comes to gaming is the main thing. So this your boy Tab Man, finna sign off. That's all I want to say. So be lookout for my other videos and stay tuned. So peace.